If you ever asked yourself, how does a second lien holder short sale work? Then you come to the right place, although the answer may not be what you expect. Hi, I'm Dohn Thornton. I'm known as Don the Short Sale Guy because I have helped well over 2,000 homeowners get out from under a bad situation with an upside down mortgage and usually foreclosure. In this video, I'm going to talk about how a first and second lien holder position works, why the first lien holder always holds all the cards, and how the second lien holder is much more motivated to deal than usually a first mortgage or first lien holder. So let's talk about the relationship between a first and a second lien holder. Generally speaking, the first lien holder is the first mortgage. Now, how is that determined? It's determined strictly by the date of recording. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Let's say, for example, that you own a property free and clear, and you have a $5,000 water filter mortgage on there, or installment loan that's tied against the house as collateral, and then you want to refinance, or you want to do something else, and maybe get a second mortgage or whatever. But it doesn't matter if the second mortgage is like, the second lien holder will be like $80,000, and you just had that first position that has five. They got there first. Therefore, they have the first lien position, and that's always that they have hand in the relationship when if they're in first lien position. Typically, though, let's face it, usually it's the mortgage. The first mortgage has that first lien position, and so that means that the second mortgage is subordinate to that first lien. And what does that mean, subordinate? It's very easy. It just means that when the mortgage is somehow, whether it's refinancing or if the property sells, if it goes to foreclosure auction, it means that the first mortgage gets paid first, then the second mortgage gets paid. That's why a second mortgage generally charges more interest, because they're carrying bigger risk, because they know that they have to wait for the first mortgage to get paid before they get anything. So therefore, they're going to charge a higher interest rate to mitigate or put off some of that risk, or compensate themselves for more risks they're taking on by lending you money in a second position. But there's no risk at all if you go down here to the subscribe button, click it, and hit the little bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when I drop a new video here. And obviously you're on here because you're interested in short sales and foreclosures. So why not get notified when you hear that, when I drop a new video. Okay, let's talk about how the first lien holder holds all the cards. Now, I mentioned this briefly in the previous point, but it's an important one, because let's say, for example, that you get a mortgage with FHA or VA or USDA. Those are pretty much 97 to 100% financing. Okay, so now why would anybody have a second lien position when there's no equity? Sometimes you see it, although it's very rare. But I'm just using that as an example, so you know how that works. Okay, so they're going to get paid off first, and that means that they're the ones that determine what happens in a short sale. It's what's typical is when the first mortgage takes decides on what discount they want, then they're going to make a very flat out offer to the second lien holder. It's $6,000 or 10% of whatever the balance is in the second, whichever is less. So they control everything. So they're going to it's basically a take it or leave it proposition. It's like an offer they can't refuse from the Godfather, that it's either that or the first mortgage will not agree. The first mortgage will let it go to foreclosure auction, and they'll take their chances at the auction before they will let the second mortgage get more than what is pretty standard in the industry, which again is $6,000 or 10% of the mortgage balance on the second, whichever is less. See? Hardball. So what's not hardball is if you go down to the comments section, leave me a comment. I would love to hear your opinion about this. If you had any experiences with this, you ever done a short sale, on your own, or if you know someone a neighbor, friend, relative, or whatever, or you just want to, ask me a question about whatever, be glad to. I love to engage. Go ahead and hit the comments. All right. So the second mortgage, like I said, is much more motivated. So let's say it's a situation where the first mortgage will get a full payoff. But you know what? Even so, the second mortgage is still motivated because there's always that chance that they're not going to get as much if it goes to foreclosure auction, because auctions are a different thing, right? And so what they don't also, they're worried about the bank buying the property at the foreclosure auction. It often happens too. So they know that they're going to be very careful, which means they're going to be more motivated. In the same sense that they charge a higher interest rate for their risk, they are more willing to negotiate and cut a deal in a short sale if they're the only ones that are in play. If the first mortgage is getting a full payoff, that's not as critical. So you can work it's easier, and you can get a second mortgage foreclosure done much more quickly. If the first is not involved, it's getting a full payoff. Okay, so you get it done more quickly, and so on and so forth. But I want to thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing you again.